Most people think you need a fancy website, a polished speaker reel, and some sort of a magical cold pitch to send to dozens of event coordinators to land speaking opportunities. Untrue. Some of the best opportunities that I've ever gotten have come from the most unconventional places, the most unconventional ways, like a casual hallway conversation that turned into a keynote, or even filling in for another speaker who couldn't make it, or asking a very strategic Q&A, having conversations with those meeting planners. These are just a couple that I want to share with you, and I want to share with you a handful of others unconventional strategies that you can be using today so that you get booked to speak. Because sometimes it's not about who you know, it's about how you ask and having a strategy for in the moment. So let's get on to the show. Hey, if you are a coach, a consultant, or a service provider, you are in the right place. This podcast is all about how to leverage public speaking events as your best form of marketing to showcase your expertise, monetize your message, and position you as the expert. So it is fall. And this is the great time to be getting booked. As a matter of fact, I know I say that a lot during different seasons, but with over 250,000 associations, they are looking for speakers. They need speakers for their meetings to put in front of their members. So I say this because you want to find the right associations. For example, I've been working with a couple of people who work in real estate. There are 134 different associations under the umbrella of real estate. Now, this does not include real estate investing or real estate management. This is just 134 different associations. So my clients who are in real estate, I let them know you literally could be speaking and go through all of these associations for their major national conference. And every 3 years, you will have gone through the entire list. That is how many there are. You'll never get bored. You'll never be lost for a place to speak. So find your associations, find your people that are in those associations, that are in these conferences, and really target them. And one of the ways that you can target them, and I use the word target loosely, like in the sense of putting it on a list, like here's a list of the different places that I would like to be speaking at. And if there's a conference and they've already planned out all of their speakers, let them know that you're going to be there so that if somebody does not show up, you can step in. Here's what my expertise is in. Here's what I speak on. Let me know if I can offer some assistance. Those meeting planners, they want their meeting to run smoothly, but there's a lot of reasons why people don't show up to speak. Weather prevents their flights from getting in, an emergency, an illness. There's lots of different reasons, and it's a little unpredictable. So just offer your services. You are helping out a meeting planner. And speaking of helping out a meeting planner, with over 250,000 associations, there are globally around 20,000 events that happen every single day, according to MPI. And they're basing that on how many conference rooms have been rented, whether that's for the morning, the afternoon, the evening, or all day. So there's 20,000 conference organizers that are looking to fill their agendas. You are doing them a favor when you reach out to them. Now, the way that I like to encourage you to reach out to them is not the, hey, you should book me for your next meeting, but use my open the door to the conversation. I notice that you have a spring meeting every single year, a spring conference, a summer event, a fall event. Let them know that you've done some research. I see that you have this event every spring. How do you go about finding and booking your speakers? They will tell you because all you've done is you've opened the door to the conversation. You have not said you should book me. So there's a couple of different ways. Another way is when you are at these events, really to network. Not only would I encourage you to go meet those event coordinators, the conference coordinators, people that are putting these meetings together, because if they're putting this meeting together, there are other meetings that they are putting together. And I always like to say, speakers know speakers, podcasters know podcasters. Well, event coordinators know event coordinators. And just let them know, like, this is what I speak on. I'm local in the area, whatever it is. And let them know, is there anybody else that you would encourage me to speak with that you could be serving their audience? They'll let you know. But here's the thing about speaking to event coordinators at an event. Please don't do it on the first day. If it's a 3-day event, please speak to them like at the end of the second day, the morning of the third. So you don't want it to be in the beginning that you're approaching them, and you certainly don't want to be approaching them towards the very end. So somewhere in the middle there, you just want to keep your eye on them to see if they look a little relaxed, like everything is running smoothly. Another way is to keep track of all the places that you have spoken for and go back to those people that you have spoken to a couple of years ago. It's been a couple of years. It's time to bring you back. You might have a new speech, a new presentation, a new keynote. Let them know that. You'd be surprised at how quickly you can get booked when you reach out to places that you've already spoken for. Now, if this has piqued your interest, I am going to be running the Get Booked to Speak. It is a 3-day experience. That's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it an experience because everybody else out there is calling their events a challenge. And I don't want to call it a challenge. I want to call it, it's an experience that I want you to enjoy getting booked so that you'll do it again and again and again. So at the time that this podcast comes out, its first day is actually going to be starting tomorrow, Tuesday, September 16th. And it's at noontime. The link to learn more information is down below. You can get replays, and the event is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I am going to be sharing with you how you can be getting booked today. I want you by the end of this week to have a couple of events on your calendar, or at least a couple of meetings that are set up so that you can start getting your message out there. Because a lot of times people say to me, oh yeah, well, there's no place for me to get booked. I don't know. I don't know anybody. There's no meetings around me. Guess what? There's 150 meetings every day per state. Okay. There's 7,500 events that are happening here in the United States every single day. Globally, that number is 20,000. And again, that number is from MPI. So it's a conference room that's been rented. So it's 150 opportunities per state, even though in January, there's not that many people going to Alaska for a conference. They're going to like California, Hawaii, Florida. But I live so close to the Massachusetts border that I say, I got 300 opportunities. And I can actually get to Connecticut and Rhode Island pretty quick. Within an hour and a half, I can be in both of those states. So what is that? That's 600 opportunities that are available to me. So keep that in mind. There is so much opportunity that's out there. You just don't know where to look. And one of the things that I'm going to be teaching in the Get Booked to Speak is how to find your ideal audience. What conferences, what associations, what events are they attending on the regular? Are they in person? Because then there's also a lot of virtual events that are happening globally. You don't have to cross those off the list. When you are a virtual speaker, you literally can be speaking in your local area in the morning and then speak virtually in the afternoon. There's so much opportunity that's out there for you to be showcasing your expertise to audiences that are filled with your ideal clients. You want to make sure that you find the right places to speak, that your ideal clients are in the audience. So that's what we're going to be covering this week, on the Get Booked to Speak. And I hope that you'll join me. This is something that I have not run this in several years, but it was so well received when I did run it that I was just like, I got to do this again. I've been so busy with personal clients, and it's just time, because I want you to get your voice out there. I want you to lead with your voice. I want you to share your information. And most importantly, if you're a coach, a consultant, a service provider, I do not want you to be wondering where's your next client coming from. When you're the speaker in the front of the room, it's amazing what that will do for your business. Does it take a little bit of courage to actually say yes, to raise your hand, to craft a speech? Yeah, it does. But that's a tomorrow problem. Let's just get you booked. Let's get you booked this week. To summarize, I hope that you really enjoyed everything that I shared with you, these different creative, unconventional ways to get booked and to get calendar bookings, to get speaking events on your calendar. And inside my Get Booked to Speak, I'll walk you through my proven strategies to not only land speaking gigs, but use the stage to walk off with sales calls on your calendar. So if you want speaking to become your number one marketing strategy, I hope that you'll join me for this free event. Get Booked to Speak. It's a 3-day experience and it will change the way you look at your business. So until next time, I want you to be in demand.